The prime creator for our creation is Holy Ghost, which is a male and a female, is that ready to go quantum. How do you tell? If you read what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
James publishes Billy. James does most of the work. Billy signs the emails. But they're not quantum. They're energy.
Mm-hmm. Not ready to move out yet.
Vastly undereducated. Who is educated? 41. And some of them are on there early. And part of it is my hope.
Yes.
And my vision.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy and Lynn didn't show up at her call. Kelsey, who is, she was just 20. She still isn't legal. She has been on calls, but she called a lot of people to look at the website. It's an endlessly forward thing.
Yes.
We have crossed the threshold. We are all one. I know that we're all unique, but all the same.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you don't like love? How many of you like to be naked? You don't. How many of you enjoy aging, enjoy needing pills? You don't. You want to be endless. You want to be youthful.
Yeah.
That's what you are. What you're doing because of skills. Nobody's coming with a little magic wand saying, Yuri, you're there, da-da, way to go. Now take everything for granted. You're not that. That's all of us. And why did we hang in there? And why are we in the forefront? One word, practice. It's that simple. No new balance. The no gets bigger, therefore it grows. So no, K-N-O-W, new balance, and the no gets bigger. It's that simple. And now, instead of...
Yes. And Judy, here's a new logo. I was going to say, get in the circle, stupid.
So it's so simple. Once you know all the dead ends and things not to pay attention to, things where you can get all kinds of false information.
Yes.
Including your own consciousness, your own thought, your own brain, your own mind. So what do you do with it? So you master them. But as you become quantum, did you used to have a mind? No. A brain? No. Or conscious? No. Thought? No. never even had them. You needed them? Yeah, to talk to those that don't have them. They don't have the quantities. We have the quantities.
Scary for the ego. Yes.
So any questions? Any more sharings?
We should be recording this, but we haven't.
I did record it when he started talking and we
Oh,
weren't
yeah.
doing work, so I did start it up. I don't know
Yeah,
how,
I see it now. Thank you. Thank you.
and it did go after 4 and we didn't get kicked out, so that's good to know too, that
Yeah.
go over a meeting and it won't kick us out. I wasn't sure.
That was great.
I mean, I didn't have to worry about any of these with my clients. It's like I didn't put a lot of the stuff up, but it's good. Kicking
We
us
got
out.
quantum control of the machine.
Yeah, that's right.
Peter,
Yes.
so are you saying that going forward, recording may not be necessary?
Correct. I mean, right now we're learning. How do you learn? You try everything. When I learn a piece of software, I'll push every button. Zoom, some of us looked at that and then we stopped because I didn't want anybody else to pay. And then Lee came along and said, I'm already using,
Yes.
and I'll do it. So she did it.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Lee.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And I mean, just step by step, person by person. We're all one. We didn't even have magnificence, a unique magnificence for the first 5,000 supercycles,
Yeah.
which is 500,000 serifs in a long time. It took me a long time to learn how to travel back. So what did the coordinate system say? Well, I wasn't going to take somebody else's word for it.
Yeah.
So I learned how to do it. And every once in a while, the magnificences will say to me, what is wrong with the person? It's almost like being in a case. If the person's ready. But then also, I kept saying to myself, well, from listening to people, I would say, you basically know how far you go back. And if you go further back, you know more. So how stupid it is to make a decision when you haven't studied it? Somebody else says to you, oh, this is the answer. Well, how do you know? Well, I don't. But somebody else who I respect does. And then you talk to that person. And they say, oh, yeah, somebody told me. We're not dealing with that.
Yes.
We're dealing with facts.
And all roads eventually lead to the prime creator if you follow all the channelers, you know.
And then you find out, well, in my case, I found out the prime creator is related to me. He's my, or she, I really she is my, and it's not really an accurate term, but twin soul. And she's, I knew because we've had many lifetimes together.
Mhm.
Laura is the pilot that brought me to Earth for this life. And one day, Zora was, his wife, Soraya, was channeling through Jane, and she said, "You're onto something with this woman." She wanted to talk to me. And that was the depth of it. You're onto something. They throw the term around all the time, and it's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's the best I can do. That's why each time we get a chance for sharing. I mean, it might be that we'll decide to tape every meeting. And share. So it becomes a different kind of meeting. It goes along with quantum community. There's so much sharing that comes that it will help us accelerate.
Yes.
That's Joyce we have. But it's so comprehensive. Zoom is comprehensive. Zoom is clear. Zoom bridges PC and Apple.
Yes.
So
It bridges the two sides. Yes.
Yeah, I can bring in everything.
sharing, screen sharing is huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's huge. I don't know yet. It doesn't mean one of you don't know, or it doesn't mean that collectively we've got the answer. We do, but we have to talk.
Well, I'm in for Zoom. I might even use my prosperity check.
Noreen, we could all pitch in for it. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Pay for
Yeah, we can pay like $10 each or something. How much is it? Like 150?
$150 a year. It looked like they were charging you though 167 instead of 150. Is that what you saw on the screen when you looked?
Yeah, 149.90 to be exact.
Oh, 150.
Oh, 140. So that's the same price then as what I pay is $149.90.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you pay for a year. Otherwise, it's like
Yeah, I paid it
$50.
for a year because I put it
Yeah.
on my business account. So I did pay
Yeah.
for a year.
Yeah.
But the nice thing is it goes all over international. I mean, I've talked to people in Africa, UK, India, Indonesia, Germany. I mean, that's why I got it. I'm like, I don't have a phone plan like that. I need to get something where I can get.
Yeah, no, this is good. The file size was the smallest. I compare the download, MP4 file size recorded by Zoom was the smallest one compared to OBS and what is it? The QuickTime.
QuickTime was huge, 6
Gig.
gigabytes, 6 gig.
Yes.
Yeah, OBS was 1 gig, and I think that was like
45 megabits.
no, it was bigger than I think 200.
Yeah, 45, I think is what the Zoom one was, wasn't it? Was that 45 and the other one was 59, I think. One of them was 59.
I didn't check.
I don't remember.
exactly, but that was the smallest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm recording this, so we'll be able to have an example of the gallery screen.
Right.
I set it up on there to set that. So this will be it's a great test. That's why I thought, well, as long as Peter's talking now about all this, I'm going to start recording and at least we'll have
Yeah.
Yeah. And the quality of audio and video was good too.
Yeah.
Really
And it
good.
could have even been better. I could have muted people and gotten some of that background noise out. I was trying to give them a chance to do it. But, you know, that's what I would watch as a host, and Noreen would watch if he gets it, is to mute the ones that aren't on. You can see on the screen as a host, you can see who's got them on and who needs to be muted. It's real easy to do.
Lee, did you say that if you weren't able to host a call for whatever reason, you couldn't come to the call, you can give your give someone like Narain can host it using your plan, your account?
No, that was the reason that he would have to buy it. I can't do. You have to be someone who owns the business one. If you have a free one, I thought maybe with a free one you could, but you can't. You have to be business ones. But Noreen and I were going to test that today. We didn't get a chance to do it, but we were going to test with Julia and him and Brian in a meeting, and I won't come to it, and see what he can do, because I don't know all the specifics without the host showing up, what he could or couldn't do. I mean, like, I know you can do chat and all that. I don't know that he could. Do you guys even get a screen that shows at the top corner of your screen? Now on my screen, I can see mute, and then I also get choices of muting or video or chat for that person. Do you guys do you get that?
Not
No.
your screen? No.
No. No.
It's on
Okay,
the
that's what
bottom-
the host has. Do you have it? Diana, did you say you had it?
on the bottom of the screen. It's my ability to stop the video, mute myself, you know,
Okay.
share my screen.
But you can't do anyone else's. On my
No.
screen, the difference I see, like I have all those choices at the bottom. As a host,
Yeah.
each one of your little screens, I can mute you. I can then do anything I want, give you the permission to do something. That's what the host would have. So I don't think you'd be able to mute people, but you could tell everybody, you know, if I wasn't there, you could just say, everybody put it on mute. And then if you still hear that noise, you know somebody did not put it on mute. And you can tell. I mean, can you see when I'm just going to mute on the.
The one question I have, Lee,
Yeah.
one question I have is, are we going to interfere with your business account? If I have my own and another host with me, then we can just we don't have to set up meetings. It could be that open-ended number, you know, anybody can jump on and use.
That if you were on my account, you would affect me. If you were on my account, I could not give you my open-ended one. That's where I do my clients, but I could schedule the meetings. If I couldn't come for some reason, I could schedule the meeting. It'll come up. Everybody can come in, and I left it open so that you could even come in early, and apparently you could stay late because I only made this for an hour. It should have turned off at 4. So as long as I set everything up, the only thing that you wouldn't be able to do is mute somebody. But you can all see my screen, and all I did was do what you did.
Yeah, we probably can't even start the recording, right? So
Yeah, you can. You get a record button at the bottom, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, you should have it at the bottom. Look at your or at the top. I don't know on the Mac. Julie,
On the
did
Mac.
record
Yeah,
yesterday.
but we need record permission
Sure
from
we
the
do.
host.
Yeah.
Is that what it says? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even have to worry about that because I can set up the meeting when I schedule it to automatically record it.
Oh.
Do it on this one because I thought it was going to be like a quick meeting and we we're just going to talk about Zoom stuff. But everything that you guys are using, you can use the share. You can turn yourselves off. You can do all the things that I do other than really me just, you know, giving someone permission to do a hosting for something if they want to be the ones hosting. But otherwise, it's really how I set up that meeting. So I thought Noreen and we can test that. And, you know, if you don't
we'll test it
in there, and I'll set up the meeting the way you want it, but I won't show up.
Yeah.
And then we'll find out what you can and can't do.
And Diana and Julie, you guys have Zoom accounts through the doTERRA stuff,
Yep.
but it's a free
But they're
account.
free. It's a free account. So you want people on it that don't have a pro, and it doesn't sound like anybody else had it but me.
No.
So as long as you guys have the free one, we can test that. I think the only thing I really, that's all I'm doing here. You
Okay.
all are able to share your screen. You're all able to do a chat. And the recording, you said, you don't need to worry about. I'll set up the meeting that it automatically comes in with a recording, just like I automatically put all of you on the screen immediately. Your video turns on.
Yeah.
I have your volume on. You're not muted. That's all behind the scenes and how I set up the meeting. So I don't think for what we need to do this for, if for some reason I couldn't come to the meeting and host it, you guys would still be able to continue the meeting. And Peter, if you want to do work with Judy and Yuri and be able to share your screen, just the three of you, you just have to tell me to set up a meeting for you and the three of you can go into it. And you can do what we did today. You could actually show your screen and do everything. So anytime anybody wanted to have a meeting, as long as there's nothing that you need as a host, and really all I see as a host is really just being able to, I can mute everybody at the same time. I've got a button that says that. I can, let's see what else I could do. That's really the biggest thing. I mean, it's just how I set up the meeting for you. So I think you'll be okay. And Peter, Judy, and Yuri, you let me know when you want to have a meeting and work on your stuff. You can then have my Zoom. I'll just make sure I don't bring any clients on at that time, but I'll use my other ID so it won't be in your scheduled meeting. So I can use a client at the exact same time you're doing a meeting because I'll use a different number. So if you're happy with this, I don't mind doing it, and then we can try it. We'll test it. If you're not coming in, I'll set it up and you guys play with it.
Okay, let me do some endless planning.
Sure.
What do I want to do? I have a lot that I know, and I want to share it.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. Know and share, or share my knowing. Each one of you becomes the hub of your knowing and sharing.
Yes.
So how do we share what you know, and 49 origination points who will share what they know? What's our best approach to that?
I really feel like, I mean, I really like Zoom and I'm familiar with it from using it with doTERRA. I really feel like it would be nice for us to have our own many of one account separate from Lee, so she doesn't have to be involved in that. It's wonderful that you're offering, but I'm just thinking and feeling about it, going like, it would be nice to have our own account, and like I would be someone who'd be happy to donate towards that. So then we have the flexibility of having it for our own needs. Because I mean, I look at that and I go like, we don't have to be so limited and so small where it's like, oh, we can't. I mean, if people can't afford to donate, that's fine. Whoever can do whatever they can. So we meet that dollar amount. It should not be on Noreen or, you know, Peter. It should be something that we, you know, open up to whoever would like to share and be able to have our own space. That feels best to me personally.
Yeah.
And it allows you guys to do whatever meetings you want whenever you want to do them.
Correct. And the RV is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably going to happen this year. So.
Damn, that's 9 months.
Well, maybe, well, you know, and if it's going to happen this year and it's only going to be another meeting,
Yeah, I know. Just kidding.
I can just do the next meeting for you. Or if you want to have several meetings this month, if we test that you don't use anything a host used, Peter, I don't have to be on the meetings with you every time.
Right.
You've already got it. If it's like you said, the RV is going to happen hopefully in a couple of months. I set up the meetings. You have your meetings whenever you want to have them, and I don't come to it, you know, when you don't need me, unless you want me included in the meeting, you know. So
Well,
either way, Happy to do whatever you need.
Personally, I like what Diane is saying.
I think it's a good idea.
And once we have a transition from right now through the RV, once we have the RV, there's plenty of money to share with others.
Yes.
And Julie can host 50, and Brian can host 50, each one of us.
Yeah.
And sure. I don't have anything else to say
Right.
except we're in a transition, and I really like Diane's approach where maybe we have a ghost account or a separate account for any one.
Mhm.
And maybe we have multiple hosts, 50, 41. I don't know any of those details,
Yes.
but we have the questions.
Yeah.
And what's the most important thing to get something started?
For sure, we can start with one, and then we can add as many we want as time goes on. So.
Correct. Frank Carey, who used to be a chairman of IBM, used to say the answers aren't important. It's knowing the right questions.
Yes.
And he ran IBM before John Oak. And I suggested that IBM do services. And the result was my performance rating went from 1 to 3. Yet if you look at IBM now, it's mostly service.
Yeah.
Technology is all the same that we had when I was there. So anyway, we have questions.
Well, I think, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
We have a transition, and Lee got us started. And we, from experience, like what we see.
Yeah.
And the quality's great. And it stays up. It doesn't crash and burn and come back. And
Yeah. And the good thing is it goes over the time you limit it to too. I limited this to an hour.
Yeah.
And we're over a half an hour and it didn't close down. So that's a really good thing too.
Right.
Because, it does last longer,
And it doesn't have person-to-person interference,
Yeah.
Person-to-person interference.
We had that.
Olga Lucia to Peter. I don't know what it is.
Right. And the good thing is it can work on anything. You can do your phone, you can do your iPad, you can do your desktop.
Yeah.
It's great that way. The flexibility.
Yeah, the flexibility is good.
Yes.
So,
do
Marie, can I just, make a suggestion that maybe you can gather the information of what it would cost so we have a figure, and then, consider knowing what the facts are, and then if we share that with the group.
right. So you were talking to Doreen.
Well, I'm saying Noreen was looking it up and had like the dollar amounts so figuring out what we need and then being able to let the group know, and whoever would like to participate in donating towards that.
Yeah, $5-10.
Yeah,
And if people don't have money to donate, that's okay.
that's okay. Mhm.
I feel like you need to, make the invitation, but not a requirement, because everybody's in a different place at these times.
Yeah.
It is $15 a month if you do it monthly. So it's much more reasonable to say you need to be $150. That's a year. So, it's just so much a month. It looked like it was $15 if you went monthly.
Yeah, it is. Mhm.
Well, that's not.
And I can always be a backup until we, you guys decide what to do, so whatever. If the three of you, Judy and Yuri and Peter, you have meetings you need scheduled for now till we decide, I'm happy to set up meetings for you. So anybody that needs meetings right now, I'm happy to do that for you because I can't make those where it won't affect my business.
Mhm.
Make a decision one way or the other.
And
Choice.
we still
Yeah.
have FaceTime. Don't forget that. I can call any of you on FaceTime.
Yes. Yeah, we can still do the 5-6 people. It goes fine,
Sure.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm summarizing to myself. Right now, my no is really big, and I want to share.
Yes.
Mm.
We're moving very quickly in making every one of you plus 39 quantum singularity is on the list, voice, and quantum form is on the list. The form you love, you have to get into energy.
Mhm.
That puts you into numbers.
Yes.
Then we have 39 others. So that's where we are right now. And what are you guys? Well, you're already shareable. You're just going to soar as your no grows.
Yes.
And then what else is there? Share. Once no is back to quantum, where we all come from. That's why there's no creator. What is left to be done? Share. So your no is growing, soaring, and then you're going to share.
Yes.
And you're going to go through a year to make sure there's no reversion. And then the youthing process. And we have a capacity already of 7 ships, which is 1,000 a day. So capacity, those are healing ships that will use you. And it's all technology, but it's all advanced technology, pre-energy. So you already know how you get younger. Like I'm going to go to 33. Why 33? 3 times 11.
I like that number too.
Yeah, 3 is a neat number and 11 is the number of mastery.
Yeah.
So it's not like we still have other things to put in place. It's that we use what we have.
Mhm.
And then what are you guys doing? You're soaring, which means fast growth. So, and we're having an endlessly forward meeting. You're not moving towards something that will be ephemeral. It is endless, and you're going to get better. That's fantastic.
Party time. Yay.
So, any other questions?
Are we doing a meeting sooner than May 1st?
Sounds like it, right? I mean, based on what he says, sounds like we're gonna have it more often.
How about April 15th? I vote for April 15th.
We can do that. It's tax day.
Yeah, it used to be tax day.
There's no tax.
This year,
This year they're moving it.
Right.
this year it's party day.
Yeah,
What's the choice? Each one of you. Do we have a meeting at 6 p.m. on the 15th?
15th is
Yay
6.
for
On
me.
this one, I say yay.
yay.
Yes.
If we haven't made up our minds, I can set it up on the Zoom. I'll make the meeting.
All thumbs up.
That's a lot better than they're gone.
Yeah.
I can get my feet up too. Counter.
So we'll have,
So up.
Thank you, Diana.
I did it for you, Noreen.
okay. So,
We'll shock the group, you know.
any other comments, questions, whatever's good. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Fine.
So we'll see you all on the 15th. That's not necessarily saying that I won't see you earlier than that.
Yes. I know that.
It might happen.
Yeah.
You know, sooner than you think.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Oh.
Yay. Quantum.
Yay.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Bye,
so
everybody.
much, Dee, for hosting.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, everybody.
Love
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Lee.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I love you guys.
Love you all.
I love you
Love
all.
you.
Have a good night.
Yes.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.